Good morning. Happy Monday. Very exciting stuff. Before we get started, I'm just going to kind of preface this by saying that I noticed that a lot of us have been struggling with doing plot when we did it last week. So I'm going to actually have us doing it again because it doesn't seem fair that I move on from something when I feel as though we haven't really mastered it. So we're going to be working on the same thing this week, reading a story, looking at the different parts of plot, and identifying them. Oh, also, excuse these nerd glasses because I am getting headaches from looking at my screen. So expectations, you need to do all must-do work, and the can-do work can make up for assignments that were missing in the third quarter. Grading, 50 points per week, 10 points per day for guided notes, 100 points per week, 20 points per day for must-do assignments. And then again, can-do assignments can make up for assignments that you missed in the third quarter. Live questions, still going to keep doing it. I hope that we use it this week. All you have to do is click on the attached document. This is, I believe, 702 and 703. So you click on the attached document, and if you can see this, I am working toward making sure that every question gets answered as soon as it's asked. So you're going to be doing the same thing. You just have a different document where you type in your questions. Attendance check-in, this is mandatory. You need to do it every single day just so that I can see that you are participating. I am pretty sure that last week Patrick was the only person who signed in. Good for you, Patrick. Way to go, bud. But for this week, let's make sure that we get on the habit of signing in every single day. This week's objective, like I said, we're going to be doing the same thing because it does not feel right to move on from something if we have not mastered it. So you're going to be, for today, defining exposition to identify the exposition of a fictional text. So your do now. Your do now is Moody Monday, so you're going to be thinking about someone, someone else's emotions rather than your own for today. Think about someone you know has been having a hard time adjusting to our current situation. Write an encouraging letter to them, ensuring that everything is going to be okay. Think about what the word encouraging means. A lot of you last week, your do nows were one sentence long. An encouraging letter that is one sentence long, I don't know about you personally, but me, I would not feel very encouraged. So make sure that you are taking the time to actually write a letter to this person and help them out. If this person is you and you feel like you're the one that you know who's really suffering the most right now, then write a letter to yourself as if you're not yourself and encourage yourself. All right, so the objective and essential question, you are going to define exposition in order to identify the exposition of a fictional text. Your essential question, what is the exposition of a story and how does the reader learn during the exposition of a text? This is supposed to say exposition. Once again, making mistakes. We're going to fix it. It's very hard to proofread all these things that I have to do. There we go. Exposition. So, the root word of exposition is the word expose, which I'm sure you have heard in your lifetime. So, in your guided notes, you are going to answer the following two questions. What does it mean to expose something? What are you doing when you are exposing something? And how can the meaning of this word help you understand what the exposition is? So we're breaking the word exposition up into its root word, which is expose, and you're finding that meaning and you're trying to think about what the word expose might mean and how that might tell you what the exposition is. So this is a video that we used last week because I noticed that a lot of you guys didn't do the work from last week. I'm going to use it again because I find it very helpful. So while you watch this, think about these two questions, and then after you watch this, answer these two questions in your guided notes. So the first thing that you're going to answer is what is the exposition of a text? And the second thing you're going to do is explain what the reader learns during the exposition. So not only are you telling me what it is, but you're also telling me what it tells the reader. So what is the purpose of the exposition in a text? And look, I wrote resolution again. Hopefully I didn't do that again. Shh, dog's barking. Okay. So, what is the exposition and what does the reader learn? What is the purpose of including an exposition? Why do you have a beginning of a story? So you're going to copy the following into your notes. The exposition is the beginning of the story where the reader learns the characters and where and when the story takes place. Hopefully you don't cheat, okay? Don't cheat during this. The characters and where and when the story takes place, or in other words, the setting of the story. I'm going to actually include that because I want to make sure that you know what that word is. So in where and when the story takes place, the literary term for that would be the setting. So the setting of the story is where and when the story takes place. So now you're going to do another stop and jot using this short film right here. You're going to watch the short film and you're going to answer the following in your guided notes. Who are the characters and where does the story take place? Who are the characters and where does the story take place? So basically what you're trying to do is you're looking at the exposition of the film, of the short film, and you are telling me what you learn as the reader or viewer in the exposition. And then finally, your assignment. You're going to choose one of the following stories like we did last week, but there are 3 different stories. You're going to read them and you're going to answer the questions on the attached document. If you're really good at predicting and guessing things, you might be predicting that the questions might sound something like, who were the characters in the story? Where and when does the story take place? I don't know, just things that are popping out of my head. I'm not sure if that's what it's going to be, but I'm almost 100,000% sure that that's what those questions are going to be. So you're going to click on the links that you have here, choose the story you want to read. Make sure you choose carefully because you're going to be using the same story for the rest of the week, just like we did last week. Actually, I meant to include this slide in your stuff, but I'm going to go over here for that. Just to go over how to sign up for Common Lit, because Common Lit allows for you to use the read aloud feature, which I think that would be really, really helpful for you guys. You go to commonlit.org. I linked it here so you can just click it. You click sign up. You click I am a student, and then you enter the class code. After you enter the class code, you're going to have to go back and find the story that you clicked in here, and you're going to be able to use that read aloud feature. Let me show you how you use it because I actually would like to at least just show you how that read aloud feature works. All right, I'm signed in. So here I am in the first story that you can read. I'm going to choose read aloud, and then I'm going to click play.
The Worst Sin by Joshua Salick, 2015. How do we judge what is right and wrong? Are there some actions that are better or worse than others?
So obviously, the voice that you're hearing here is not the most pleasant and definitely not the most exciting. But if you think about it, when you were reading text in class, when we were actually in class and I was able to help you, it really did work for you guys to hear me reading the text out loud. So I think that you should keep that in mind, how helpful that was, and use this read aloud feature because it's going to help you as well. All right. Can do work. Extra credit, not mandatory. Okay, so the can do work will make up for missing grades in reading and writing. So first is going to be a writing grade. Write a short story about a monster. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be scary. It can be as creative as you want. You can have a story about a monster who's really sad. You can have a story about a monster who's really cute, right? So write a story about a monster. That is your first assignment. It's going to be included. Sorry, he's crying. It's going to be included in the attached document. And then you're going to read the following poem and answer the questions on the attached document. Again, all going to be included. So all you need to do is just go onto the attached document, see the questions. There are 3 questions and they all have multiple choice responses. So all you need to do is highlight the multiple choice response that you are choosing. If you do both of those, you make up for a missing writing grade and you make up for a missing reading grade. All right, that's it for today. Looking forward, you're going to use the same story. So again, make sure you choose your story carefully and you're going to review the rising action. Review your notes from last week to try and prepare yourself as to what the rising action is and how you can find it. All right, you have a wonderful day. Happy Monday. Enjoy your life.